Welcome, Annika. During this interview, I would like to ask you a number of questions that specifically cover your first Belgian exposition at KIOSK. This exhibition takes place from the 27th of April till the 16th of June 2013. First of all, the title of this exhibition, I Am a Dog That Was Always Here, Loop, has the same title as one of the videos you show in the central space of KIOSK. And in that same space, you choose to install glass strips in which the title is repeated. You seem to assign great importance to this caption. How did this idea originate or arise?
The last years I did several works that deal with the notion of time. You could say also time travel, so repeating of time. And I realized also that since years, many of my works have been very much dealing with that, without me being aware of it. So I think looping is also about time. Looping is that time is looping itself. So in the video, the story of the dog, he's looping himself several times, but he's also repeating things. So I also thought that to take out text from the video out in the room and loop that would also be an interesting way of trying to deal with video, to actually visualize it out in the room by looping it out in the room.
I Am the Dog That Was Always Here is a new video that is just finished and was produced in Istanbul. Why Istanbul? Is there an important relationship with this city?
Just that I have a residency there. I'm there for 10 months. And actually I did works there earlier because I had also, I spent some months there a few years ago. And also I have a gallery there. I am kind of connected to the Istanbul art scene. But also I did 3 works that had Berlin as a point of departure, this time of transition that you see there. And they have a similar situation in Istanbul. It's a time of transition. The city is in great changes. So I wanted to do a work that deals with that. But also in Istanbul, the animals are very significant for the city. They really, I would say, they are the soul of the city. And with the gentrification process and this really aggressive changes in the city, they take the street dogs and they put them far out on dumps, so they should die there. So by telling the story of that dog that was always here, I also do hint on the changes that you see there, this transition.
But in the video work, We Sind Wieder Da, made in 2010, dogs were also used. Is it possible, can they be perceived as a kind of symbol?
I mean, in the film with the dogs in Berlin, there was the punks and the dogs, they are one. So they belong together. And I think it was when I did that I also, I mean, the dogs are also us. I mean, the dogs can be any creature, right? But it was also a challenge to see if I could tell a story that the dog told. And the title just came to me like last year. And I thought I would so much want to do a film about the dog that was always in Istanbul, and he saw everything, and there are layers and layers of information in this film. I mean, of course, you have to know Istanbul to know certain things. When you talk about Taksim Square, for example, that is the square that Atatürk created for demonstrations of political activities. When you talk about Talabachi Boulevard, that's the most aggressive gentrified area. So I mentioned certain key things in the film that deals very much of these changes there. But hopefully also you can enjoy just to hear when you talk about Talabachi Boulevard. And when you talk about all the boats on the Bosporus, that's true. That was the only place where people were hanging out in the old days. They were on boats. So there's lots of information about the city embedded in this story. But it's really a challenge to decide to tell a story through an animal. But in Istanbul, it totally makes sense because they're also present. And the street animals makes the humans better, and vice versa. There's a clear interaction there. And in 5-10 years, that will be gone because that city is changing so rapidly.
Okay, so Istanbul as a starting point, but in the exhibition you show a couple of black and white photographs that depict the urban space. Some of them are abstract and reveal a sort of shimmering haze. Is there a certain connection between the pictures and the video work?
Yeah, it is. I mean, somehow it describes the place that the dog talks about. And I also wanted it to be, I mean, they are taken in Istanbul, but I wanted it to be a town that is almost like a state of mind. It is the place that, I mean, he talks, the dogs are roaring around on a dump, and he talks about that he's walking on a boulevard. So somehow the light boxes shows what is not shown in the video. That's their function there.
Mm-hmm. It strikes me that in the pictures, human presence is excluded. Was it your intention to create a certain solitude?
No,
Because
there are
isn't
little
any-
humans. Yeah, there are some.
There
You
are?
see like a guy in the corner, you see some cars.
I
No,
haven't
no.
noticed.
But I wanted to have this feel of timelessness. That
Mhm.
is it something that has been, or will it be, or are the buildings being constructed or taken down, or this weird sign with the figures. So it should be this unclarity. But no, you have signs of humans there. So, but I didn't want to have any crowded images. It should be this kind of a bit half abandoned place.
Did it happen soon? The video in 2012.
Mhm.
It is another video in the side space of the exhibition room, and a young man talks about his life in the past. Later on, you realize the emergence of this similarity because it is impossible that he belongs to that period of time.
Mm.
And so here we see the notion of time and space. Why is that so important for you, that notion of time?
Yeah, God.
Is it because the value of time,
No, it's just something really challenging in talking about a time where you don't know if it has happened or it will happen. And it gives a lot of freedom in how you tell a story. In this case, I did a lot of research on this. It was something called Kommune 1 in Berlin in the 60s. And they were, of course, they were the children of the Nazis. It was a reaction towards another society. And they were very radical. And I also met some of the members and the people around them because I wanted to do something about resistance somehow. And in the end, I ended up with this actor. And it's unclear. I mean, he's also dubbed by an older actor, so he has this, and you see sometimes it's out of sync. Something is really uncanny and weird with his. But I wanted to be unclear if this uprise or this kind of resistance, if it maybe he talks about something that will happen in 50 years. He's too young to have been young in the 60s, but maybe it's another time, maybe it's another situation. So I think my interest in time is in so many different levels. I'm just really it's super interesting to deal with that because, like I said, it gives you a lot of freedom.
Mm.
And time is the only thing we have, on the other hand.
Yeah. On the other hand, this work reminds me of the way we deal with history, or better, the impossibility of fully understanding the past. Does this work respond to the way people approach the future or the past?
Yeah, maybe. Also, we cannot understand the presence, right? Because we are here now. So maybe the only thing we can talk about is some kind of past or some kind of future, because we are here now, so we cannot understand. I think it's maybe also for me to try to understand where I am and where I live and what time I am in.
Mm-hmm. A big part of your work concentrates on video. Was there a specific moment when you have decided to focus on this medium?
I started off as a painter, a sculptor. I did a little bit of performances, but I really hate to be looked at. So the performative works are always through other people. And my videos are very performative. They are performative videos. You see in the room, he has a very strong presence. I rarely cut. I mean, I cut in the dog film, but there's also clear sequences. But I also work more and more with photo now and with text. So that was also a try here to see how I can relate video to objects. So I want to develop that more. And last year I did several text pieces, and I will also do that now. So I want to find a combination. I don't want to work only with video. I want to take it further there.
You talk about performance,
Mm-hmm.
and the Belgian artist Kelly Schacht takes also part in this exhibition. She uses people as well as objects in the same exhibition space and focuses on performance in order to obtain dialogue with your work. Is it the first time your work is presented in such an arrangement?
Yes.
And is there a specific aspect that gets highlighted due to this interference?
I think that is a piece you have to be there and feel it and see it and because it's so physical, huh? So let's see what she's up to.
Okay, I would like to thank you very much.
Thank you.